Kaieteur Radio.
Covering Guyana from coast to coast.
Demerara and Essequibo 99.1 FM.
Purby's 99.5 FM. Kaieteur Radio.
Guyana, join me on the Glenn Lal Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Glenn Lal Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I'm Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. With negotiations now completed, ESSO has awarded Netherlands-based SBM Offshore contracts to perform front-end engineering and design for a floating production, storage and offloading vessel for the Yellowtail Development Project in the Stabroek Block. ESSO, in fact, pursuant to the awarding of the contract, has since agreed to pay over an undisclosed advance to SBM Offshore to begin works. SBM Offshore is the company that built and is currently leasing to Guyana the first two FPSOs, Liza Destiny and Liza Unity, and is in process of constructing a third FPSO for the Payara oil field in the Stabroek Block, Prosperity. The contract handed to SBM Offshore is the second such large one out by ExxonMobil Guyana in recent days, despite the fact that it is yet to receive any government approvals and permits, environmental or otherwise. And now let's tell you, the incumbent PPPC administration is not interested in any form of good governance with regards to the management and administration of the country's still nascent oil and gas sector. In fact, the ruling party is comfortable with the status quo, where there are basically three persons in charge of the sector, namely President Ali, since the Natural Resources Ministry falls under office of the President, Substantive Minister Vikram Bharat, and Vice President Jagdeo. These were among some of the sentiments expressed by Chartered Accountant, Attorney at Law, and Civil Rights activist Christopher Ram. Additionally, he recommended that the government immediately set out a commission of inquiry with a view to seeking recommendations on having the contract with ESSO renegotiated. A contract, he recalled, was described as the best in the world by ExxonMobil's consortium partners, Hess Corporation CEO John Hess. To this end, he posited the PPP is not interested in good governance in the oil sector. With regards to monies being lost annually as a result of the lopsided contract, Ram hesitated to come up with a specific figure since, according to him, Guyana is at present unaware of the production costs paid for using 75% of oil produced, and that is inherently impacts returns for Guyana. And moving on. Regional engineer for Region 8 Lachman Singh found himself in the middle of a quarrel between members of the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee on Monday, when he claimed that he was forced to sign off on documents for payments of projects which were unchecked and in some cases incomplete under the APNU-AFC administration. Singh claimed he was being victimized and feared losing his job for failing to comply with the directives of regional administration when he was instructed to sign off on various projects. The projects were all flagged in the 2016 Auditor General Report for overpayments, unverified incomplete work, and in some cases, no works were done at all. For that period, a budget of $248.2 million had been allocated to the region for maintenance of buildings and infrastructure. And moving on, Leader of the Opposition, Joseph Harmon, on Wednesday said he is now prepared to stand up to the international bullies to reclaim the rights of the Guyanese citizens, specifically with regards to the oil and gas sector. Harmon, during a virtual press conference on Wednesday, told reporters that the Vice President Bharat Jagdeo's statements on the failure to audit the spending of ExxonMobil has to be one of the worst he has ever heard. He noted that it is never too late to conduct such audits, even as he called for the government to come clean. Harmon explained that he has been taking note of locals, especially Kaieteur News publisher Glenn Lal, who has not been sparing the government. In other news, GRA on Wednesday outlined the criteria to be followed by interested applicants for the establishment of functioning of shore-based facilities to support the needs of the oil sector. The tax body recalled that it had published a notice in the Official Gazette of October 9th advising of the Liza Unity FPSO facility being deemed a private warehouse and sufferance wharf for customs purposes. GRA said this was necessary to enable a conducive framework for customs facilitation and monitoring of transactions relating to the movement of goods, services, and vessels coastwise and internationally in conformity with the legislation. Acutely aware of the fact that shore-based facilities will be established to support the services needed by the Liza Unity and Liza Destiny that is currently in operation, GRA said the existing customs procedures for warehousing shall be applicable for shore bases. And now let's tell you, in seeking to further improve Guyana's clear-up rate of murder, the Guyana Police Force is hopeful that wanted murder suspects who have fled the jurisdiction can return home to face justice. Making the call was Crime Chief Wendell Blanham. Blanham noted that President Ali had alluded to the fact Guyana has the highest clear-up rate for murder in the Caribbean. While this is true, Blanham noted earlier in the year clear-up rate for murder was much higher. He reasoned that the clear-up rate has reduced slightly because some murder suspects have fled the country. One such suspect is Shaquan Allen, also known as Izwi. Allen is the prime suspect in the murder of his girlfriend Shauna Dover in April this year at his Canvas City, Linden home. And to wrap things up this evening, let's tell you that the GDF recently received a contract to upgrade the Paramakatoy Health Center to a smart facility. But even though the project sum is in excess of $44 million, it did not pass through the state's procuring entity, the National Procurement and Tender Administration Board, or NPTAB. This is according to GDF. In response to a letter by a social activist, Ms. Adriana Thomas, who questioned what she dubbed as an unfair advantage the GDF has over other companies, the Defense Force said that it does not participate in public bidding processes. In fact, the GDF said that it is President Ali who wants the force to play a role in national development. The GDF noted that construction projects are not new to the administration, as ranks of the Engineer Corps have embarked on a number of civil work projects, including the drilling of wells in South Rupununi. In a letter to Kaieteur News, Thomas said that she was shocked that neither the Private Sector Commission nor the Chamber of Commerce questioned the award of the project. And with that, we've come to the end of this evening's newscast. I'm Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Coming up at 19:20 is last evening's rebroadcast of the Glenn Lal Show, Tell It As It Is.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
Guyana, join me on the Glenn Lal Show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7:20 p.m. and a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. The Glenn Lal Show only on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This piece of brothers and sisters, I know you guys are enjoying the program, but please take a moment and listen to this piece of information about the leaders we have in this country, whether they're working for you or just a few chosen ones in this land. Yes, we have 2 sweetheart deals in Guyana. that only benefits the private investors, although Guyana put in the hag of the money on both projects. Ask any of the 65 member parliaments we have in this country. Ask them to show us a single project that any government did under the boot, the DBF or consortium arrangements in which we